be back.
All right, Book to Art. It is on Delta Television, the People's Pride. Always a delight to be here, and it is the fastest 25 minutes on television. Well, then, we'll be taking on a very important book, and this has to do with storming the campus. And we have, storming the campus, mastering the process. And we have the author very much in the building. But just before we take him on literary works, we want to feel the pause. Let's know who this author is. Well, his name is Austine Akaeze. Well, who is he? The profile has more. We'll be back in a moment. Austine Akaeze is a versatile media practitioner and a marketing communication consultant, an avid reader and well-informed social commentator that draws inspiration from all of the arts and social sciences. Teaching comes to him naturally, and he has always desired to take up teaching full-time. Akaeze believes strongly in the maxims of Africanism and is committed to cultural and African values renaissance. He is a strong supporter of social change crusades and openly advocates for a better society when citizens, regardless of social status, will become fulfilled members of a progressive society. Akaeze studied mass communication at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, majoring in advertising and public relations. He holds both a BA and master's degree. He has worked as a teacher, a journalist, and as an advertising practitioner. He currently works with the Delta State government. He has just been appointed a lecturer in newly established Dennis Osadibe University, Asaba. His literary work, Storming the Campus, is a reissue of Akaeze's first book, Excelling at the University. Aside two reference works, Nigeria, a historical profile of a sleeping giant, and the beautiful world of football, the game and passion. Two other books, Dema Swonko, Regenerating the African Creative Spirit, and Books and Reading, The Evolution of Literary Culture, are some of his books that are forthcoming. Akaeze is a founding member of New Thinking Initiative, NTI, a knowledge platform committed to social regeneration, knowledge application, creativity in education, research and publishing. He lives in Asaba with his family. This is Storming the Campus. What gave you this inspiration?
Yes, every work of art, every literary work should have a target audience, should have a focus. I decided to target our young persons seeking higher education, those that got admission into tertiary institutions. We are finding out that our children go to school and comes out the same. No change in value, in orientation, in skill acquisition. So I decided to do something to target these ones, to give them direction, to give them purpose, to give them focus. That is the major essence of the work.
Right, that's actually very interesting. Now let's look at your writing style now. How will you term this writing style here? What is your preferred writing style? So first, let's start off with storming the campus, mastering the process. What kind of style is this in terms of writing?
Okay, my work can fall under what we can call general studies.
Okay.
And maybe taking further, we can say guidebook under guidance and counseling.
Okay.
Then in my style, I prefer what I term the Achebian style.
What's that one?
And the Achebe style is
Achebe style
in the language of the people.
Okay.
Making it simple and short. Your reader, your audience should not struggle to understand you. You try to bring down your language to that level of your audience. So that is my own writing style. I don't want my audience to struggle to understand what I'm talking about.
Okay, now your book, let's look at chapter 9 of this book. The title there is The Student and Rational Thinking, okay? And we have a bit of introduction on that, and also the need for rational thinking, learning through argument, and then failing to learn through argument. Now, I'd wanted to speak to this chapter, is it's chapter 9 of this book, Storming the Campus, Mastering the Process. So, in your own words, just the way it is here, just in summary, how will you speak to the students and rational thinking?
Yes.
This is your pizza. I know you're going to eat this.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am. Including that chapter on the work was born out of my experience from philosophy. I borrowed the philosophy as a student, so the course really opened my eyes to some mistakes, to some flaws in my thought pattern, in my reasoning, in my thinking. So I decided to include it so that students can also benefit. When we talk about rational thinking, we are talking about decisions, actions born out of reason and not emotions or feeling. We are talking about a situation where students should think rationally, logically, coherently in their speeches, in their conduct, in their writing. A student that is not coherent in his thoughts cannot write properly. A student that is not coherent in gathering data cannot present a good work, because it will be scattered. It will not be coherent. Even in thinking, in argument, in discussion, there are certain logical philosophical rules we should always be conscious of.
Okay.
For instance, if you are arguing with somebody, we should always focus on the issue we are talking about, not on the person. A woman that has no child can be an advocate of fewer children, of having 2 or 3 children.
Okay.
I think you see that. Somebody may say, okay, it's because you don't have children. That is why you are saying that others should have less children. You see, the person have left the issue and start attacking the personality of the person. So rational thinking helps a student to put his thoughts in proper perspectives. It helps in his thinking, it helps in his or her writing.
Okay, now the second page of this book, flipping just after the first one, it's words, or rather quotes than by Thomas Walker, and I want to read this. It says, in the true spirit of the African culture, every child will be educated to become both a thinker and a tinker. Now there are two things there, both a thinker and a tinker.
Yes.
Now, let their natural endowment be their only limiting factor, and not the social class in which they were accidentally born into.
Good.
Now, in just 2 sentences, I will speak to this quote.
Yes. Education should not be memorizing of facts.
Okay.
Education basically is developing the innate ability of the child to think and to act.
Okay.
Thinking and putting your thinking into action. That is being a thinker and being a thinker.
Okay.
2 words sounding the same,
Yes.
but 2 different
Yes.
meaning.
Thinker and tinker.
Thinker that means thing, that repairs thing. So we should put our thinking into action. So that is what Dimas Moko is trying to say. And he's trying to also add that education, what limits us should not be our environment.
Okay.
We are in charge of the environment. What limits us should be our own abilities, which of course is infinite.
Okay. Now, so What do you hope to achieve with this book, Storming the Campus? What do you hope to achieve? I know there's a lot here, but I just wanted to do a summary of what you think you want to achieve with this book.
There's a lot of issues in the society, especially the young ones. There's almost a total breakdown of morals. There's a nearly total breakdown of values. Students go to school in the name of going to school, not to acquire knowledge that can be applicable. They go to school and come out the way they went in. No change in value, no change in culture, no change in orientation, nothing to contribute to the society as an educated person. So my work is to change this narrative, to give our students a new mindset, to tell them that education is a responsibility, which after you have acquired, you're going to come out and contribute to societal development, and not to add to the societal problem. An educated person is a problem solver. Educated person is a thinker, is a solution provider. So my work is to give focus, is to give direction, is to give a clear map, chart to our young ones that are seeking higher education.
Okay, purely education based. Now I'd want you to speak to your work in another 5 years. You're an author right now, so what will it be for you as an author in another 5 years? How will you envision yourself in another 5 years in terms of writing, the other aspect?
Good, wonderful.
Okay.
You see, I've just been appointed a lecturer in the new established University of Delta State Government at Dennis Osadobe University.
Bravo.
Yes, of
Congratulations.
course. Thank you very much. Of course, as a lecturer, I'm bound to write.
Okay.
Because there's this maxim in the university circles, publish or perish. So of course, I will be writing. And but the problem is the audience. There is this disconnect between literature and the public. People don't tend to read any longer.
Okay.
So you may write and no person is out there to read it. So we are encouraging people, let our literary culture come back, so that when an author writes, he will not be afraid that there will be no person out there which the work will be exposed to. So from now to 5 years, I'm sure I have written some other works, and you can see I have some in the pipeline.
So there's a strong connection, with literary and tertiary education. Both is intertwined. There's no way you can be talking about tertiary education when you can talk about the literary aspect of it. So, but in your own opinion, I'd want you to do a connect between the two of them, literary and tertiary education. But we do know that there's a big issue when it comes to reading. People don't read. It's they say when you want to hide something from the African man, put it in a book.
Hide it in a book.
So now I wanted to do a connect between literary education and tertiary. We know tertiary is a bigger picture, but I just want us to see is there such a thing as literary education, and how does this connect?
Yes, thank you very much. An educated person ordinarily is a literal person. That is somebody that is lettered. You don't need to study English and literary studies, for instance, which is studied mostly in Faculty of Arts or Social Sciences, to become a literary person. In as much you have set your foot into the ivory tower or any other institution of higher learning for that matter, you owe yourself that responsibility to become a literal person, because the society will be looking up to you, people will be looking up to you on issues that borders on the intellect, on issues that border on the academic, and no matter your background, you should be able to say something.
All right, I did say that this is the fastest 25 minutes, but we're going to have a second episode on you, on your book, because it's really important that we'll take on some aspects of this book, because it borders on education, and the going concern of our kids in school. It's very, very important. And of course, they will think about going to the university, and they also want, it's important for them to know what to expect when they get into the university, as it were. Now, as we're running off, I just want you to do 3 quick sentences on how relevant creativity and productivity in tertiary education is in Nigeria.
Thank you very much. I think, if not for the want of time,
just a sentence.
Yes, in a sentence, education should be creativity based. Right. Education should be able to equip people after acquiring it to provide solution to solve societal problems. So when somebody is educated without creativity, which means he cannot create, education should give people ability to create. Creating is producing, and producing is solving problems.
Thank you very much for coming on the show. We'd like to have you again. We'll be interacting with Austine Akaeze, author, a lecturer as it were, and very creative. He has so many sides to his name. He's going to be here again on a second episode, so we can actually exhaust this to an extent. But this is just more like an introduction of this book, Storming the Campus. It's a good one. I want you to grab a copy of this and read. If you have kids going into school about this time, it's very okay for them to actually look at this.
The government approved it for using.
Yes, and it's also key to let you know that this book is approved by the Delta State government, as general study test for all senior secondary schools in the state public schools. So this book is very vital. It's approved, and very soon it will be available in schools. So this is how we wrap it up today on the program Book to Act. It's been the quickest 25 minutes, but back again on another Wednesday to treat you to another interesting moment. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Oh.